You are now tuning in to the Val and Val Show, where conversation is art, art, art. Conversation is art, conversation is art. You should chime in, ain't no telling what to spark on the Val and Val Show. Ain't no telling the Val and Val Show. You know, ain't no telling where we go on the Val and Val Show. Ain't no ceiling, cause the art of conversation is the flow. It's that creativity available when we speak, available in our homes, available in the streets. We just trying to get it sparking and take it a little deeper. Keep it casual while fireside chatting with our people. Yeah, we take it a little deeper. It get hot when we fireside chatting with our people. Cause conversation is art, conversation is art. You should chime in, ain't no telling what'll spark on the Val, the Val and Val Show, the Val and Val Show.
Hello, hello. As you all can see, I am all alone tonight. Y'all know it's Classic Week and Valton is out there with those Kappas and probably doing voiceovers and etc. However, we have a wonderful show tonight. We had another guest scheduled. However, they ended up getting sick. So I was going to cancel, but you know, y'all, we've been gone for 2 weeks. I was like, I can't do with people like this. So, hey, God always have a ram in the bush. I always have a ram in the bush. So I have someone who I have known a long time. I can't even remember, probably 15 years ago. We met when she was trying to hurt me real bad, trying to get me fit. And you know, forever get this weight gone. I'm still battling with the weight part, but it's better. But I can do some burpees. Okay, I can do some burpees. I'll tell you that. So hope everything has been going well with you all. I've been sick, battling allergies, but you know what? Pushing on through. I also had some devastating things happen this week. One of my dear friends lost her battle with cancer, but you know what? God is still faithful. He is still faithful. And I have another friend, my coworker's wife is going through the same, and just lift them up in prayer, Lord God. We need to just pray for each other. So tonight, since Valton has left me by myself, Valton, I miss you. I miss you. I'm going to bring in my friend. I'm not even going to tell you a whole lot about her. I tell you this, you all, she a track person, running 100 meter and 200 meter, that kind of person. So that'll just let you know. However, who we have tonight, you all, gives me great pleasure to introduce Miss Doella Thomas, honey. Come on in. And as
Hello.
you can see, homeschooler, teacher, and a fitness guru. That's how I described her, okay? Fitness guru is what she is. How are you tonight?
I am doing great. I'm doing great. I cannot complain. Just getting home from Tyler basketball games. I just made it home in time, so I'm ready to rock and roll.
Okay, she ready. Listen, y'all. It's 7:04. She ready to rock and roll. And she come on like that in the morning. She ready to rock and roll. Sometimes I be wanting to roll her and rock her too with some of those things she have us doing. Now, some of you all may be looking at homeschooling and fitness guru. What in the world? But now, according to Miss Thomas, she said all correlates. That's what she says.
Yes,
That's what she
yes,
says.
yes.
Okay, so what we're gonna start out with, Doella, is just tell the people a little bit about you. Give them a little background about you.
Well, a little background about me. My name is Doella Thomas, as stated. I am nine siblings at my mother birth. I am dab in the middle. I am the fifth child that was born, four above me and four below me. So when you say in the middle, I'm in the middle. I'm originally
Middle.
from in the middle. I'm originally from Louisiana, moved to Mississippi. 16. I started running track school. I told my dad in eighth grade, if you allow me to run track, I will get a scholarship in track and academics, and you won't have to pay for me to go to school. And guess what? That's exactly what happened. So I ran track in Meridian Community College. I went there 2 years, graduated. That's where I met the love of my life, T. Thomas, who we've been together for 22 years and almost married in January for 17 years. Then I
Wow.
transferred, yeah. to UAB and finished out college there and
Go
running track.
Blazers! Go
Go,
Blazers!
yes, my alumni. That's my team. That's my school. I rock them. I'm gonna rock them till I die. So I have birthed two children, Zoe and Tyler. Zoe is 11, Tyler is 7, and I am blessed with a bonus child that is 23 and two grandchildren, Shamaya, and she is just like my child. Call me mama and everything. So I've been on her ever since she was 2. So I am blessed to have 3 children, and they call me Lola, a grandmother of 2. So that's a little bit about me. I am energetic. I'm vibrant. I love life. I love my Heavenly Father. I am here because I want to be able to help encourage people so their lives can be transformed from the inside to the outside and just really teaching people how to live balanced lives wherever you are.
And yo, I'm looking down because I got to do everything. I'm sharing stuff on Facebook and tagging people in it. So now I'm ready. Now I've done all that.
Are you ready?
Look, uh, y'all, she ain't energetic. Don't let her fool you. Or if you have doubt that she's energetic, do know she is beyond energetic. Okay, okay, trust me. Uh, I've trained with her before in the past, but I've been back since the pandemic. With
Hmm.
her on Zoom. And I'm a morning person, thank goodness. So we're there
Hmm.
at 5:30, but she records it so you can get it later. Now she know for the most part I'm gonna have to be there live because if it's later, I'm not gonna do it because if I don't get it in by 9 at the latest, I'm not that evening
Mm-mm.
person. I
Yeah.
walk, but I ain't finna be doing all them burpees and all that stuff. She be smiling just like she doing now. So look, so let's just start out with Doella. Let's talk about you as well, first let's talk about how you transition into your fitness because you did run track, but that's
Hmm.
not what you majored in. You majored in
No.
mass communication and public relations,
Yes.
although that is all tied in with you starting your fitness business. So tell us about your fitness business, another level with Doella.
Okay, first, when I went to school, my goal when I was in fourth grade, I wanted to be an OBGYN. I wanted to deliver babies. That was like what I wanted to do. Went to college. My major at first was in biology. And in my junior year of college, I realized that's not what I want to do. I don't want to be a doctor. If I have a family, I didn't want to be on call all the time. My junior year of college was a wake up call for me. And I told my mom and I was scared to tell my dad. I was like, wait, don't tell daddy because didn't want me to be a doctor, but I had to realize it was my life. It was what my purpose was, and I didn't understand it all, but I knew that was not what I wanted. So I have a minor in chemistry, and then I transitioned to mass communication, specializing in public relations, and that's kind of how I got there. But when I graduated college, I began to work in the corporate world. And I worked at Wells Fargo Financial for a year. But when I was working there, I continued to exercise. So it was this lady, and we are friends to this day. Her name is Natasha Rembrandt. She started asking me, "Can you personal train me?" I said, "I am not no trainer. I can't be doing all that." She said, "Well, you working out?" So I was like, well, okay, just come to the gym. So we would go to Dawson Gym and we would meet at 5 o'clock in the morning and we would pray from 5 to 5:30, do a prayer walk in that parking lot. And then I would take her in that gym from 5:30 to 6:30. And I started training her before I was ever certified. So she really was that person that was kind of the Holy Spirit led her to push me into that. And so when I end up leaving from Wells Fargo, went to Fitness Together in Trustville, and I became a certified personal trainer there. And then once I got married, we moved to North Carolina. I got certified through AFA, which is Aerobic Fitness Association of America, in 2006 as a group instructor and then as a personal trainer. And then it took off from there. It wasn't something I said, oh, I want to be a fitness instructor, I want to be a personal trainer, but it was what he called me to it. So I just kind of started walking in that arena. And when I lived in North Carolina, I went to True Vine Ministries there, and we had the J Center, which was our life center, and I became the director there. So I taught fitness classes, I was a personal trainer, I was doing all kind of stuff, putting on all kind of events. I mean, everything in that capacity. And so that's kind of, and I used to be another level of fitness, and it was some years back that I transitioned to another level with Doella. So that's really kind of how I got into the arena of becoming a personal certified instructor, as a personal trainer and as a group instructor.
Okay, then. Okay. So y'all see, look, she loaded. She locked and loaded. Okay. She is locked and loaded
Ready.
with it. And I can tell you all, she's always learning more because now you just recently got certified as a nutritionist. What did you just get a
I
certification?
just got I did had to do my recertification because with as a trainer you have to get recertified every 2 years with ALPHA. So I chose to do nutrition coach, which is absolutely amazing. It took me some months to get through it because when you homeschooling, you a mama, you train and doing all these things, you really have to balance life. So I would have to balance every day. I said, okay, I'm gonna do at least one chapter. I'm gonna be focused. But yes, I just got certified as a nutrition coach.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Look, you all, she just got the certification, but you all, she's been knowledgeable in it. Trust me. Uh, I would call her herbalist too. Trust me, with me battling through these silences, baby. She's like, here go Miss V. Here your rollerball. She called me Miss V, y'all. Here your
Yes.
rollerball. And trust me, I've been using them too. I got a diffuser now. Never owned a diffuser. I have a diffuser now. So with that, I'm gonna let you all. I'm gonna talk to Doella just like me and her having a conversation. And one of the things you all that I've always loved and admired in her, and some of you can relate to this if you've ever gone had a trainer before. Some trainers are one size fit all. If they say 100 burpees, they want everybody in the room to do 100 burpees. And sometimes some trainers don't have the ability to start people off light and work their way up. Some of y'all right out here, I'm gonna take this boot camp class. Oh, you better be ready when you go to one of these boot
Hmm.
camp classes because
Yeah.
they ain't really gentle with you. They ain't like, oh, let me coddle you. They want you to jump on the box that's 6 feet tall. So what I admire about Doella, she actually works on your level. And everything she does, she would give you a modification for it. I mean, if you come in and you ain't feeling good, if you just need to walk in place that day, and she's big on listen to your body. So as you can hear, y'all, she's saved, sanctified, fair, baptized, Holy Ghost filled, and on the Lord's side. Okay. And
Yes.
she is unapologetically, and I'm gonna tell you this: if you ain't into that, she is not the trainer for you, okay?
Sorry. It's okay.
Cause she ain't gonna not pray, she not gonna back up off of her belief in her Jesus. So, everybody ain't for you.
That's
But
right.
I remember when I first met her, she was the first trainer that I ever had to open up in prayer and ask God to let us achieve our goals to protect us from injury. And I was like, wow. And then she fooled around and put some yoga in there, and I thought she was of the devil. Okay. Woo.
Oh my
Y'all,
goodness.
she gave me a new respect for yoga. If you have never taken yoga, woo, Jesus. That's forget all the boot camps you've done. Do yoga. And you will say, oh, burpees. I got that. And
Hmm.
she used to give mini massages, and I would go to sleep. She would have to wake me
Yes.
up so I could shower and get ready to go to
Oh,
work on time.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I used to love that. So, you all, she is someone, this is not just her business. This is truly her ministry, and she want you to be the best fitness level that God's want you to be. And that does not mean you need to be a size 8. I know some of y'all looking at it like, Lord, geez, she's skinny as a string bean. But she's going to share with you tonight. She hadn't always been healthy, even being slim. Just because you're a lower weight doesn't mean you're fit or healthy. And she'll also share with us tonight how health is beyond just physical fitness. You got to have a
Right,
mental
right.
fitness. So let's talk about, and you even, you was a track star and doing all of that, but you still didn't have healthy habits. So how did you change that and get your body, even though you were naturally thin, because your dad is slim?
Hmm.
So genetic. My dad didn't pass that on to me. I told him, you gave it to the wrong person.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, for me, like, yeah, because even in college, I wish I had the eating and health lifestyle when I was in college that I have now. I wish I would have had that knowledge because I remember I used to eat quarter pounders at McDonald's, or whatever, and things of that nature when I was in college. I mean, in college, you get what you can get, you know what I'm saying? So noodles and hot dogs, whatever, you can get it, or you're eating in the cafeteria. But I
Mm-hmm.
just got to a place when I got older, I graduated, and just the older I got, the wiser I got. My mom, like, really always cooked for us because with a family of 10, we were not eating out all the time anyway. So she did really good with cooking for us, and she taught us, like, sometimes we would have to fast. Like, she would take meats from us and we could only probably have fish, and we couldn't have any sweets and things of that nature. But the more I got into being a trainer, it just opened my eyes up, not just to look at the physical part of my outside body, but what was going on internally. Like, what am I
Mm-hmm.
putting in my body, and how is that helping me? And not just helping me now, but how is that going to help me 10 years down the road and 20 years down the road when I'm in my 50s and 60s and 70s? So I just began to have transitions, but it was a slow process. And I remember when I was in North Carolina, and I love this woman. Her name is Lisa Harris, and she is a naturopathic doctor. But then she wasn't a naturopathic doctor. She's a straight. When I tell you vegan, she's straight vegan, like straight vegan. She made tofu out of, like, French toast out of tofu that tastes like French toast. Like, that's how amazing she was. So I began to sit under her. And she became a mentor to me. So I would go to her house. I took cooking classes from her. Even though I wasn't a vegetarian, I wanted to learn new ways to eat and do things. So I
Yeah.
stopped eating meat, but I still would eat, like, seafood and things of that nature. And that's where she was the person that taught me about essential oils and all the, like, she opened my mind to a whole new realm of things. So I just was learning under her, and then I got under Dr. Parker there and Dr. Beal. All these were these black African American doctors that I began to sit under. Dr. Beal was the OBGYN, but she was all about taking care of your body. Like, she did not play. And Dr. Parker, David Parker, he was a general practitioner, doctor. And I'm still friends with these people. So what I did is begin to surround myself with people that knew more than what I did. And I would
Okay.
sit under them, and I began to learn, okay, well, how do I do this? And Lisa taught me how to mix foods together and what not mix, not to eat, because sometimes we put foods together that should not be together. And when they get in our stomach, they begin to spoil, and you can get gassy, or your stomach begins to bloat, or you feeling all kind of things. That's because sometimes you mixing something that takes longer to digest, and something may take a shorter process to digest. So for me, that's what I began to do when it came to, like, eating healthier and things of that nature. And my brothers and sisters, some, sister-in-laws, brother-in-laws, they would joke. My brother still jokes me out. You just eat grass. You don't do nothing. You eat some grass, all this. Like, they would joke me out. We can't have this, or we can't do this, or, things of that nature. But I just wanted to be healthy. I wanted longevity. And so I began to look at the Bible and read his word, and what was it saying about eating, and, things of the nature of that sort. So for me, that's where I begin to get into the place. But even when I'm personal training, I don't tell people they need to eat the way I eat, because we are different. We are uniquely
Gotcha.
designed. So I begin to tailor people to where they are, because the what I have, it may not work for your body. And we have to get in the kitchen, and we have to learn our own selves. And a lot of times we don't have time to do that because our lives are busy, we're too busy. But I say to you, we got to make time when it comes to taking care of the physical and internal you. So that's kind of like my journey of getting in that place of, of healthy eating.
Eating. You mentioned something, and I know, in our culture, we've always celebrated with food
Hmm.
because it's the one thing, even in our deep poverty, our ancestors and our parents and stuff, the one thing we could do, we could whip a meal up, as we say, out of nothing. I mean, they
Right.
could do it. Just simply amazing. And of course, um, they use fat and all that stuff back then, but then foods were different then.
Right.
The neck bones now and the stuff now is not the same. And also, we were very active, mobile people. I said, this is what we've done. We maintained the eating and cut down on the physical activity.
Yeah.
Because, I remember growing up, you weren't allowed to sit in the house. I mean, you had to go outside and play. Your
Play.
parents would run you outside. And then we did manual stuff. I mean, even if you had a washer, you still hung those clothes out on the line. And we actually, one thing I started back doing now, I actually started sweeping the house versus, no, let me sweep the house versus getting the vacuum cleaner. Hey, these sinuses got lit. I stop cutting up all that dust. But I realized it's really good exercise. And that's one thing you're big about. Movement,
Yes.
y'all.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So when you talk about movement, and that's even one of the things I learned as becoming a nutrition coach, is it talks about because you have active movement, but you have what's called resting movement. So walking longer distances, walking up the steps, that's still activity. That's still mobility. It's not, and y'all gonna think I'm crazy, but even though I'm an instructor and I'm a personal trainer and fitness and all this kind of stuff, it does not take forever for us to work out to get where we need to be. People think I work out 24/7, and Miss V can tell you I don't do that. I mean, if I'm gonna work out, I'm gonna work out 30 minutes, 20 minutes, I am done. The only way it's gonna take longer if I'm going on a walk or doing a run walk or something like that. But it does not take a long time. I don't even have a membership to nobody's gym because my gym equals wherever I am. If I go to a hotel, if I'm at home, if I'm traveling, the park, wherever, my living room. But I became disciplined in that place because I matter. I matter. I want to move. So you have to get to the place where you tell yourself, get up, be mobile. And with having my father now, who is in a wheelchair, he can't walk. He wish he
Mm,
could get up and move. He wish he can get up and walk on his own. And for me, that makes me look at life totally different all over again. Like, okay, my daddy can't get up. I still have the activity of my limbs to get up, to walk, to put on my own clothes, to eat my own food. And sometimes we take those things for granted. Oh, I'm tired. Oh, I gotta go to work.
yeah.
We have so many excuses, but it's 24 hours in a day. You can find 15, 20 minutes to take care of your health physically because you matter. And that more than anything, I want you to know how much you matter. And when you matter about you, you take care of you in a way that you're not going to let anything get in that space of that. And that's what we have to get to the place to that yes, I'm going to exercise. Yes, I'm going to be active. I clean my house Sunday. I ain't cut on my fitness thing to see, but guess what, Miss B? The whole time I clean my house, I got 30 minutes in of a workout just from cleaning this house. And as I was
Yeah.
saying, I'm because I'm sweeping, I'm mopping, I'm wiping over here, I'm going up the steps here. I got the children doing their part because I ain't doing it by myself because this our house together. So you got to clean your room and you got to clean your bathroom and you need to come down here and help me in this kitchen. But just that's activity, that's movement because I need to teach my children what to do. So it's passing what I'm doing. I want to pass this to my children that they know how to take care of their health, their physical body, taking your supplements, eating healthy, and getting the rest you need. I teach, baby, you got to be well balanced. Today we ain't going nowhere. We're gonna stay home and do nothing and rest.
But
You know what
that.
I'm saying? So we have to make sure that we're always moving. And if you get around older people that's like in their 70s and 80s, they'll tell you, baby, don't stop moving. You make sure you
Yep.
move every
They do.
day. They will
That's
tell you
their big
that.
thing.
That is because if you stop moving, that's going to prohibit your body getting stiff, arthritis, all these things begin to happen because you're not moving. So you better get up and move, do something, sit up and 10 squats, sit up and down in your chair, go up and down at work, make it
Yeah.
happen.
I started doing that. What I did, I started alternating standing and sitting for work and then just stop. Do 5 or 10 squats in between. I started taking breaks. If I do nothing but walk out my front door to the where the mailbox is and come back in, just to get out. Well, look, we're gonna take a break. And look, I hope I can do this for Carter. Look, y'all, Carter Law from Beats Entertainment. He has a classic comedy show that's coming up tomorrow night. It's gonna be at the Dannon Project. And he wanted me to show this video. So y'all pray for me. Look, I'm showing this from Facebook. I've never done it this way before, but hey, I think I'm able to handle it.
You
Okay.
got it.
Came back. Sanctified folks, they pray. They pray for everything. I grew up sanctified, so I can speak to this. I mean, especially if their credit jacked up. You know what I'm saying? If they credit jacked up, they pray that prayer that we all pray when our credit messed up. Well, Lord, if you want me to have it.
So you all support Carter. I'm finna drop where you can the link for where you can go and get these tickets. He's, as a matter of fact, everyone on this show, you all have been on Conversation is Art. Light skinned Bobby Brown, who's a comedian. Everybody know Dino Pose, and he's our homegrown comedian here. He's the housemaster at Perfect No. So he's gonna be there. We have Aaliyah Ford, who's a comedian. She calls it it's go comedy or go crazy. And she talks about when she went through what is it? Hormonal changes, hot flash. She was like,
Menopause.
she was either gonna do comedy or go crazy. And then of course we have my Sarah, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, Costello gonna be singing. So you all, it's gonna be awesome. And I think they're gonna have a bunch of food truck vendors there so we can patronize them. You all know the Magic City Classic. Hey, that's the big Black family reunion of Alabama. That's just what it is. And I did not go to HBCU. I went to UAB, but I be up in the HBCU. Because one thing I can say, because I've had friends and family go to HBCU, y'all, it's a camaraderie like nothing that I've ever experienced.
Mhm.
Before I go to UAB homecoming, but it don't be the same enthusiasm and the excitement
Right.
like the Magic City classes. So you all support Carter. There it is. You can go get those tickets. And we need to learn to support each other. So now, Doella, we're going to kind of shift and go into, because with you being a fitness guru, you went into homeschooling
Mhm.
with your kids. And tell us how you decided to go into homeschooling, and how did you tie you being a fitness trainer into homeschooling, and why it was important to incorporate that?
Well, I to go back. Remember when I spoke earlier how when I lived in North Carolina, I worked at the Life Center and I was the director. Well, then
Uh-huh.
it was some homeschool community that used to rent out our facility. Now, I knew nothing about homeschool. I didn't even have any children at this time.
Mm-hmm.
But they would rent out our facility for volleyball, for basketball, and then they start using our sanctuary for their graduation. So that's when I was like, oh man, this is like this is bigger than what I thought it was. Like they doing the sports, they having their own graduation, and some of the children that were in high school were already taking college classes at Fayetteville State there. So that was my
Mm-hmm.
first kind of, I think the Holy Spirit then, not me even knowing y'all what was going to happen, because I'm going to tell y'all, homeschooling was never in my, I was never one of them mamas that's gonna say, I'm homeschooling my children and I know this is what I want to do. No, I was gonna put my children in the best schools that they can be in so they can get the best education so I can continue to do what I'm doing, training clients, doing all my stuff. That was me. And that's how I started. Because though we went to kindergarten and first grade at New Life Christian School in Bessemer. And so great program, great school. Tyler was at the Learning Center. It was all wonderful. But the summer of her going into first grade, this lady at gymnastics, Zoe was taking gymnastics, started talking to me about homeschool classical conversation. And I'm sitting there like, okay, why is she telling me this? But I listened to her, and that's when it started. And so I didn't pay her any mind. She was like, I just don't understand how this is going to work. They have her doing all this singing, and it's not like how you do when you sit in traditional school. How's she going to learn? And she said, but in December, the girl was giving me all this information. She was remembering. And I was like, oh, that is so nice. That is wonderful. So I left it alone, y'all, because that was not what I was looking for. Then here comes somebody else in my path talking about the same thing, classical conversation, homeschool. I'm like, okay, Holy Spirit, what are you doing? But it's when I went to Publix, I never forget, it was a bad storm coming. I was in the aisle, and this lady, her name is Michelle, and she was looking for some kind of sauce. And me, I just started helping her look for the sauce. Well, she ended up telling me, y'all, about homeschool. And we have an open house coming up right off the exit where I live with classical conversation. So I was like, you know what? Let me go check this out. So I go to this open house, and when I go sit in, I was just like, oh my goodness, I see what you were leading me to. This is what I'm supposed to be doing for my children. So I remember going home, talking to my husband about it. He was like, Doella, you sure? Like, you're gonna be frustrated. I'm like, T, I'm frustrated, and I'm just a regular mama. They in school, I'm already, that's the part of it, you get frustrated as a mama in general. And so I was like,
Mm-hmm.
but let me pray about this, babe, because I'm not for sure I want to do it. I don't know if I have the patience. I don't even feel I'm qualified to even do this. So I prayed for that year. And lo and behold, she finished first grade, and I pulled her out in second grade. She started homeschool. I started homeschooling her, and Tyler was 3 at the time, and he was just gaining everything. So that's how I entered in the realm That was in 2018. But here's what I want to say. In that time of praying, the Holy Spirit kept telling me, I'm preparing you for what's ahead. Just obey me. He said, people are having, because I could hear people like, this is spiritual on the spiritual side. I could hear people saying, what is she doing? She need to keep training. She got great clients. Why is she, I could hear the voices of people talking. But the Holy Spirit said, block out that. I'm preparing you for what's ahead. And so I just obeyed him, even though it didn't make sense. I was even offered to work at a job at a church. That was a job that people would have took because it was a prominent person, pastor. I mean, I had to tell him I can't do it because I have to homeschool. He's called me to homeschool, and I turned that down. And so I went into homeschooling, scared, nervous, don't think I'm qualified, don't know if I can do this. And then I'm nothing wrong with Caucasian people, but that's mostly what I'm surrounded around, now at this point with homeschooling, because I don't see any of my people, and then I need my children to know our culture as well. So I'm looking, I want to have balance. I'm always about balancing. So I went into it, but I was surrounded with beautiful people. I mean, they family. They like literally sisters. We come to each other's house. We do life together. Y'all, we in the trenches, like for real. And so I'm into my 5th year of homeschooling now. And I prayed to be surrounded with some Black homeschoolers. And then I got tied with Black homeschoolers of Birmingham last year. And that's been like just so amazing with Jennifer and Yolanda. I went to a summit, y'all, this summer in Bessemer. That was a Black homeschooler summit. That was phenomenal. Like when I tell you phenomenal, I was learning stuff. I was like, yes, come on. This is amazing. And I left so ignited because I'm like, oh, I can give my children more. I can see their learning styles. I can help them in this capacity. I can open them up in this arena. They can be on the debate team. They can do all these different things. So it's such a great encouragement for me as a mom. So that's how I got into the realm of homeschooling, because the Holy Spirit actually led me into that capacity. And I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot of work. It requires discipline, but I love homeschooling. I really do. And yes, my children, let me go ahead and say that they are so social. They are involved. My daughter rides horses. She's in Girl Scout, Tyler in Boy Scout. He play baseball. He do martial arts. We're around all kind of people, so I have no problem with them being socialized. We around all people, other people, all different kind of nationalities, because I want them to be exposed to so much, because I want them to know. So, but it's work, but it's such a beautiful opportunity.
Yeah. Now talk about them, how you bring your fitness in with them, because you all, if
Yeah.
you
So,
if you follow Doella, you'll see the children like, really, mom?
yeah, yeah,
We
I
going
know they do.
we finna do this?
I mean, there are some mornings too that before we start our day, we may go ride on a bike ride before we even start doing school, because I need them to know you need to take care of your physical body. And then my children see me, even though I'm a homeschool mama, I'm an entrepreneur. I still want to, do things. I don't want to lose my identity and myself. And at first, when I started homeschooling, I let it all go, y'all. I stopped doing classes. I stopped personal training. I kept like one client because I was so focused. But now I'm doing homeschool. I got my personal training clients. They come to the house or I may travel to them, and my children see that. But what's amazing, time that in Tyler or Zoe or sometimes they come right by my clients, encouraging my clients, which is absolutely amazing. So I tie in my profession, what I'm called to do, all these things still in the life with homeschooling. It didn't have to change. I may have to put it on a back burner for a little bit at first because they were younger and I needed to really be in the trenches with them. But now that they're getting older,
Yeah.
they can do work more independently. Okay, mama can go over here and work and make some things happen and things of that nature. But it lets them see how, okay, mama can do this and she's still doing it. She's training these clients, she's helping these people, all these things.
Yeah.
So, and it teaches them how to make their own money, because they see, or Tyler may go to work with my husband, he works at Jim Burke at Chrysler Dodge downtown. He's a general manager, but he gets to go to work with his father, so that even helps him in that capacity with the working ethic, the work life skills. So he loves to go to work. But I'm just looking at how I can make my life still work with my children, but I had to learn how to make that balance and how to make it flow together. I didn't have to make them two separate entities, but I had to learn how to make them fluent and where they, just really
Come
coincide.
on. Well, Doyle, I want to ask you this, and I just dropped Black Homeschoolers of Birmingham, I did their Facebook link as well as their website. And many of you may know Melanie K because Melanie be on the news and all this stuff. As a matter of fact, let's talk about this, Doella.
Okay.
Uh, you just had a wonderful opportunity as a Black homeschooler. So share that with the people. What this led to. Once you, and I know you said no, nothing against the Caucasians that are doing this, but we know in this world, unfortunately, all the playing field is not level and it's in the same opportunities. Our kids have obstacles, and that's why it's important. We're not trying to say, Black is better than anybody, because
Right.
we're a group of people that we want all people to be successful. Now, we just wish that other folks felt the same way about others as well. More of the other folks felt that way, that all people have an opportunity to be successful regardless of their social economic background. But Doella had a great opportunity. Now, I want y'all to hear. She said the Lord had her pivot away, first of all, from being an OBGYN to actually becoming a trainer, then a nutritionist. And now, after doing all of that, it was like, lay that to the side. You need to become a homeschooler.
Hmm.
And people didn't understand it. When God calls you to do something, most people are not going to understand. And I tell people this all the time. You cannot tell people that are not spiritual things. They don't
Right.
understand it. They look at you as like, well, how you gonna make money? If God calls you to do something, y'all, he is obligated to take care of you and your
That's right.
obedience.
Yes.
So she went with the first homeschool group and realized, I need to pivot and do something else now for my children as they're growing. So look, Doella just showed up, you all, now, the Black homeschoolers, and they've been in existence now. How long?
2 years now for them.
2 years. 2 years. So there have been folks doing this. But out of all the folks that have been homeschooling, she got selected to do what? Tell them, girl. Tell them.
Well, no credit of mine. Jennifer Duckworth and Yolanda were the ones that started Black Homeschoolers of Birmingham. And they started like in 2020 when COVID happened, things of that nature. So they branched out to start something for our community. And I had already been praying because Zoe asked me one day, Mama, why am I always the only Black girl in my class? Like, why is not any other Black people homeschooling? We knew of one family, Cumberland, and we would get with her, but she wasn't at our campus. And I began to talk to her about that and digging that. So I kind of started praying, okay, Holy Spirit, just lead and guide me. And I remember I came across Black homeschoolers on Instagram. And so I kept trying to connect with her, but like we could never connect like in person, but we had via social media. That's how I started connecting. End up one day I was at the Hoover Splash Pad, and who was there? Jennifer. So we got to meet, and it was just like so amazing. Cumberland was there because we had a play date with our children. So that's when I first met her, was at the Hoover Splash Pad Park. And then when the summit came up, I'm like, I'm going to this summit. This is like awesome. So went to the summit, and then 2 weeks later or so, Jennifer texted me and asked me, "Hey, will you be willing to do an interview? We wanted you, and like we chose like a few other families to do an interview and about homeschooling things of that nature." I was like, "Okay, if I can fit in my schedule, I can just my schedule around, I can do it." So I end up doing it with ABC. But me, I'm thinking it's ABC 3340, and so I do this interview via Zoom, like 45 minutes with this young lady, and then I realize she is not ABC 3340. She's in New York interviewing me. So I'm still like, I'm not thinking. I'm just like, want to share homeschool, want to, expose more to the homeschoolers, Black communities, things of that nature, whatever. So then I get a message 2 weeks later. The lady said, "Well, we're thinking about traveling down there, and we want to do a life, in homeschool with your family. Can we come into your home to do that?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And so I see Jennifer in the library a week later. I'm like, "They want to come to my house and record." I said, "Are you sure?" She said, "Doella, we chose you on purpose. You got this. You got this." I'm like, "Okay, all right." So lo and behold, y'all, ABC Prime News comes in my home, and they do a life literally in our house that day. Like they got here at 7, didn't leave till after 12. And I still did homeschool like I normally. I didn't change nothing about me. I am gonna be Doella all the time. That is just who I am. But they did, and They got to interview, of course, Yolanda and Jennifer and their family at the park. I think they were at the Vestavia Park with the
Yeah.
dads. So it was just so much, that was going on. So we were aired October the 4th, the Black Homeschoolers of Birmingham, on ABC Prime TV. And then just this week, we were aired on Good Morning America, and we
Yep.
didn't even know that was going to happen. So it's just like you watch the Holy Spirit align things. It was nothing because I'm so great or but Jennifer. It's just that when people obey and do what He's telling them to do, He'll open the doors
Correct.
for you, things of that nature. So we're just humble people out here wanting to do the best we can for our families, in the capacity that we can, just to help our children, to expose them to the things they need to be exposed to. But it was such a great opportunity. I'm humble for it. It was, wonderful. I just don't want to never take nothing to my head. But I am grateful to have the opportunity, and that we, not just me, but we have this opportunity as a community to really, expose and to, for other people to know and to address these things. So I just feel that it was super amazing. It was cool.
Cool. And I put the Good Morning America link, but I was actually on your page looking for the
The
full.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's with the ABC. So if you type in like if on YouTube ABC Prime Black Homeschoolers, it'll pull it up. It's on
Okay.
my page
Yeah. So
too.
okay. Yeah, that's what I was on your page looking forward to putting in a link. I did put the Good Morning America in there. So you all, just by her being obedient, look what God has opened up doors. I mean, He's put her on platforms that she didn't even think about just from being obedient. But she got to stop being so obedient because look, we took a break and we still breaking. I told her when we was on it, look, honey, we got to get back with it. Because I'm one of now, look, you all, I have so many tapes because what she does, you all, if you do decide to choose Doella as your trainer, she records the videos and send you the Google link. Well, look, I'm one of them people I need to be real live and in effect.
I'm
I
gonna start back.
Yeah, I'm a morning person. So I generally like to be there live. And if I miss it, I hit some of them. But Dola, no, I'm not exercising in the evening. I go for a walk or something, but I ain't finna
Right,
do no hardcore. And I don't go to bed still till 11 o'clock. It's not like I'm tired of sleeping, but the
right.
evening is just my downtime. And you all, she's affordable. You reach out to her. She's very affordable. She ain't free. She's very affordable. Understand that, okay? And she will meet you where you are. You all, she got me doing something I never thought I would do in my life. Okay, juicing. She tried to get me to juice many years ago, and I was like,
I
"Yeah,
know.
as a thing, I didn't drink juice anyway because I always thought juice was a waste of calories, and the juice you buy in the store is. But you all, juicing, I mean, the substance that you get to keep from the fruit that you're juicing it's really not like juice for real.
Right.
Because you got so much of the pulp and stuff is still there. And it's really filling. It can actually be like a meal for breakfast. So, honey, she got me juicing. She got me doing
Yay.
all that. I'm intermittent fasting. And my goal, you all, I'm not trying to be a size 8. I've just never been small, tiny per se, but I know I can be healthier. Like as I said before, you can be a size 6 and not healthy.
That's right.
And you can be a size 18 and be fit and healthy. A
That's
matter
right.
of what you're eating. And definitely for us in our race, we just need to pursue being healthier more because number one, we live in a healthcare system that we know we don't always get treatment like we should.
Mm-mm.
Also, one of the things Doelle is real big in, we need to get back to the earth,
Yep.
utilizing the earth as our ancestors did. I remember my grandmother, I never forget this. My dad had the flu, and I was a young girl, probably 10 maybe. And she told my mother, go down in the woods and find this tree with this red bark and bring it back to her. And she boiled that thing and made a tea because my dad would get the flu every year. She boiled that tea, and you know me, being a child, you gotta taste it, right? Tastes like poison. Tastes like poison. Ooh, the worst taste stuff. My dad drink that stuff that night. Now him know my mama slept. He was pouring sweat. I mean, he had to change the bed like every hour. My dad died at almost 88. He never had the flu another day in his life, and he had to be in his early 50s when this happened.
Wow.
And you all, if you think about it, a lot of this natural path, homeopathic stuff we're doing, y'all, that came from the motherland. That came from Africa. Those roots and different things. This is what our people did. I'm buying turmeric. Doella got me doing garlic. Let me see what else you got me doing. MCT oils and all of these things. And these are healthier fatty oils that we need
Right.
in our body. So you got to be open to
That's
new
right.
things like cutting back the salt, trying different flavors and stuff. And I promise you, you all, she is a great trainer. And more importantly, she's gonna be somebody that's gonna be praying for you. She give you pep talks. Sometimes she just send out a Zoom link, say, hey, come on here. We're gonna do a little chat session to see what's going on. You know, mind,
Right.
body, and soul. Mind,
That's right.
body, and soul. So you can reach out to her. I just dropped her information back in the chat over here. You can reach out to her. If you want to train, you can reach out to her, find more about homeschooling. Also look at the links to Birmingham homeschoolers.
Yes,
And
listen out.
it's a great support system because I often tell people no child should be an only anywhere. I don't care if they're white, black, Asian, um, Hispanic, Italian, or whatever. You need to be around people that come from your same place so that you know you matter too.
Right.
You matter too. And we need to build confidence in our children early that they unequivocally know who they are. So when they do grow up as adults, because they will be only sometimes in these spaces with adults, but they'll walk in there like, hey,
Confident.
y'all ready now? Because I'm here.
Right.
I'm here. And I'm amazed. Me and my daughter were talking about our family, and I was like, I don't know how my parents didn't come up missing back in the day because they were some very confident people in spaces when they could have very well came up beaten or murdered, okay,
Right.
just from taking that stand. And they actually put that in us. I can remember my dad was saying, baby, I don't care if you are the blackest thing in the room.
That's right.
You own the room.
You
You
own it.
supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And you act like you supposed to be there.
That's right.
And I've done that. Now, look, I'm not even gonna say this got me in trouble. By people's standards, they think it may have limited me in my career, but it actually has freed me in my career because I have not had to acquiesce to pretend to be someone that I'm not for the
Hmm.
sake of getting ahead. Because another thing my parents taught me was that, Valerie, remember, whatever you do to get something, be assured you're gonna have to do that plus to maintain it. So, and it's not about being arrogant, it's about being confident. And of course, sometimes that will be viewed as arrogant, but they'll be okay.
Hmm.
They'll be strong and you're confident. So, I just want to encourage you all. Just reach out to Doella. If you already have a trainer and you've been slacking, become more
Yeah.
committed.
Yes.
Because and you don't have to become vegan.
No, I'm not vegan.
You can, yeah, you can still eat red meat. You can still eat some chips. You can still eat all the things you enjoy. Just don't make that less part of your eating
Hmm.
plan. And y'all, we don't say diet. Diet begins with die,
DIE.
DIE. So that's why people don't do well on there because generally we start eating salads only, doing all this restricted things, and you can't survive. I mean, I tell people this. My biggest struggle was when they were talking about, well, dig down to why you eat, and I do some emotional eating, but for the most part, the reason I like food, my grandma, my mama could throw down, and let's be real, food good if it's cooked
Yeah.
right,
It tastes good.
it's
Yes.
good,
And you enjoy it
it's good. And you know when you ate your grandmama a pound cake, you wanted a hunk of cake. That was just it.
with some ice
But see, with
cream.
Doella, I've learned when it comes to the holidays, you ain't gotta start eating from Thanksgiving through New Year's, right?
Right.
Every day.
Please don't.
Pick your times that you're gonna eat more freely. And I had one person tell me that they said when you choose the times that you're gonna have more liberty at eating, that's you making a choice and not just giving in and going off the rails. And I was like, oh, I never thought about that way.
Right.
So, Doella, look, we're coming down to the close. And tell me, just leave the people with some words of wisdom on ways, two things, on ways they can pursue better health, both mind, body, and spirit, of course, all
Hmm.
three ways. And if they want to actually pursue homeschooling for their children.
Well, ways I would say when it comes to tips of taking care of you physically, spiritually, and emotionally is first always look at yourself. I am a person that I always check Doella. My thing is I had to know who I was. So know who you are from the core, from like the core in you. And take time every day that you spend time with yourself. I don't care if it's 5 minutes or if it's 30 minutes, but take time. My time is early in the morning, but when everybody's still asleep, I get up and I get time by myself. I'm journaling. I may be praying. I may hear the word. Even when I go on my walks, I'm listening to something in my ear that's lifting my spirit. Especially you get pulled on all the time. If you're somebody that people are constantly pulling on you, make sure you're taking that alone time and then have somebody you can confide and be real with and talk to, as well. That's
Yeah.
important. So those are ways like, taking care of yourself and your mental capacity and your emotions, release those things, deal with whatever is trying to deal with you, deal with it, learn to
Yeah.
deal with that. When it comes to your physical health, you got to get to the place to realize, I'm going to say it again, you matter and you have to learn to invest in you. So if you train with me, will there be a fee? Yes. But you have to learn to invest in yourself and you're worth that. So find ways that you can drink water more. Find ways that you're eating dark green vegetables more. Like start doing one thing a day for 1 week. Don't try to do so much at one time that you overwhelm yourself. And then make sure you're moving. 10 minutes. If you have to start with 10 minutes, 5 days a week, start at 10 minutes, then add 5 minutes the next week. So do small, simple things. If you come to me, I promise you, I'm going to help you where you are, but I will begin to challenge you when I really begin to learn you and dig in with you. And as far, what was the other question you said? To homeschool. Um, with
To
homeschool,
homeschool.
yeah. If you want to like get started in homeschool, I would definitely say for me, I wanted to find community. I did not want to go and homeschool by myself, just homeschooling my children, just me. I needed people who was walking this life already. I needed people to give me some guidance, some wisdom, show me how to do this, all those things. I'm with a cover school. I turn in progress reports. So my children have transcript. I know I keep the log of number of days of school. I got home shield legal on my side. So y'all, I ain't out here just homeschooling half doing anything. Like I really got it laid out for my children and what we're doing. But I would definitely say start with the community. And when I went into homeschool, I started talking to people. I told Megan Roper, who was the director at Classical, I said, I'm not trying to be funny, but I need to talk to somebody that's working in homeschooling. So can you connect me with a mom? And she connected me with a black mom, which was Cumberland. And I talked to her and I'm like, okay, I need some help and wisdom guidance. How are you doing this? How are you working with the job and homeschooling? So don't go in it by yourself. Get with some people who's been doing it. And not that we have it all together because we've been doing it for 5 or 10 years, but it's somebody that has wisdom behind it. So if you really
Yeah.
want to look into that, and then I want to say this with homeschooling, everybody learns different. So one of the books I would suggest is two books I suggest is Teaching from Rest by Sarah McKenzie, and the other book is Discovering Your Children's Learning Style. That book is so amazing. You can do assessment test with your children on what style and how they learn. When you learn how your children learn, maybe you can help them so much. Some of them may be spacious and or they may be busy, or some may need to be quiet. You got to learn your children
Yeah.
and teach
Now give
and
me
teach
that
them
first
well.
book again, Doella.
The first book is Teaching from Rest by Sarah McKenzie. I can't think of the author of the other one, but it's on Amazon. Both
Okay.
of those, and the other one is Discovering Your Children's Learning Style. The book
Okay.
Teaching from Rest is very thin, but it's very powerful. I love how she always just reels us back in. Don't always focus on the curriculum. We get stuck. We got to finish this book. You got to do it like this, and we forget like who they are. So it's really a phenomenal book to read. Those are two books I would
You
definitely
says
suggest.
discovering your child's learning style.
Yes, discover your child's learning style, and both of
And
those
you
are
know
on
what?
Amazon.
You know what, Doella? I said we was gonna end, but we gotta talk about this because we've talked about this, and I think it's important. Talk about your son in particular when you said if he had been in public school, what would have happened? Just
Yes,
with the type of child he is.
yeah, my Tyler is very busy. Tyler was busy in my womb. I remember my older sister telling me that boy gonna be real busy. So Tyler is very busy, but he is very intelligent. He is, I mean, at the age of 3, Tyler had hurt us so much because Zoe was learning multiplications through song, and he could sing and count by eights. He was doing 8, 16, 24. I mean, I was like 32. We looking at him like, what in the world? But when he's learning and I'm teaching him, he does not sit still. And for a long time, I was feeling bad because I'm like, he's not sitting still, or he's not being still. And people like he need to be still, or he need to do this, or he's not listening. That child disobedient. They just putting all this stuff on my child. And even when I read that book, it showed me no, his brain is like this, and this is how he is wired, and that's how he begins to move. So what I realized, if my child was at school, I know I would be getting called. He would have ADHD. He need to be put on medication, or he would be pulled out of the class. And even with homeschool, when we would go on our days, there was one time he got pulled out of class, and the director had the amazing talk with him, and it helped me as a mom, and it began to help him. Things of that nature. So that is also amazing. I knew that he needed a certain thing, and I did not want nobody to be diminishing my child and to be pulling him down from who he is. And we have to remember, children that are 5, 6, and 7, and 8, especially, they busy. They're not going to stay seated for hours. That just does not work. We have to get up and let them move. So I do teach him, you got to sit down for 20 minutes. You have to do this work. After this is up, hey, go outside and jump on a trampoline for 5 minutes. Get your 5-minute break, but come back in here. So I had to begin to learn where he was and things of that nature. But I know if he was in school, it would be. I just know what it would be like for him,
Be like,
and
so y'all, that's something to pay attention. And you all, don't be so quick to let these people diagnose your child with ADHD. I tell people, kids are full of energy. The thing that helped us that we had recess. We had recess in the morning. We went outside after lunch. We went outside in the evening to expend that energy. Now we have these kids like they're in college from the time they started preschool. Now, sit down, be quiet. And you
yes,
all, adults don't have a long attention span, okay? As you can see, that's why you see a lot of them acting crazy as adults,
right,
acting out, cussing each other out in public because they
right.
needed to run and scream and yell when they were growing up. So look, Doella, I really enjoyed this. And guess what, you all? As God will have it, next week she'll be back.
Yes,
Uh, y'all, she's a horse whisperer too, okay? And her daughter Zoe is up and coming equestrian. So look, we're breaking barriers out of everything. So I can't wait next week, you all. Zoe is doing so great
proud of
with
my
her
baby.
being riding horse, and Mama would tell you how she became a horse whisperer. So look, let's get this. Uh, Fitness trainer, nutritionist, homeschooler, and now horse whisperer. And I'm gonna say this: prayer warrior, intercessor. Okay, and she didn't mention this, you all. She's also a praise dancer. Does
Love to
awesome.
dance.
So Doella, I just thank you for filling in the gap.
Thank you.
And let me advertise for Carter one more time. I think, yeah, there we go, you all. The classic comedy show tomorrow night at the Dannon Center. It's actually the Dannon Purpose Center. So if you want to attend that, please go in. I put the links there. And I just thank you all for joining us. And you all have a wonderful night. And then when you're
Yes.
going out for the classic, look, stay safe, be alert, and please don't drive drunk.
Mm-mm.
Please don't. Or on any other substance. Be safe out there. So you all have a good night. Take care.
Take care.